How about this for a headline? 27 years since their last home finals game, the Knicks are back, and President Trump plans to be courtside.
That's a mix of sports history and political drama if I've ever heard one. Let's get into it.
Welcome to DeActa Daily Digest. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Juniper. Here are today's top stories.
So, let's start with the Knicks. This is their first home finals game in nearly 3 decades, and Trump's attendance is already making waves. What's your take on this?
It's such a New York moment, isn't it? The Knicks finally make it back to the finals, and Trump, a Queens native, decides to show up. But it's not just about basketball. It's about the optics. Trump attending a game in Manhattan, where he's not exactly beloved, is bound to stir up reactions.
Exactly. The article even suggests that if he's shown on the big screen, the crowd might not be too kind. Madison Square Garden is iconic, but it's also a place where New Yorkers don't hold back. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
And then there's James Dolan, the Knicks owner, who invited Trump. Dolan himself is a controversial figure in New York sports. Pairing him with Trump feels like adding gasoline to an already fiery situation.
Right. And Trump thrives on that kind of energy. Whether it's cheers or boos, he knows how to make himself the center of attention. But let's not forget the basketball side of this. The Knicks are leading the series 1-0, and Jalen Brunson is having a standout postseason. Trump showing up to Game 3 could be seen as him aligning himself with a winning moment.
That's a great point. It's classic Trump. Always looking for the spotlight, especially when there's a chance to associate himself with success. But I'm curious, do you think this could backfire? I mean, New York is a politically diverse city, but Manhattan leans heavily against him.
It's definitely a risk. If the crowd reacts negatively, that could overshadow the game itself. But Trump has never been one to shy away from controversy. In fact, he often uses it to his advantage. It's a calculated move, for sure.
And then there's New York Mayor Zohran Mamdani, who's already said he doesn't plan to sit next to Trump if he attends. That adds another layer of tension to the whole situation.
It really does. Mamdani's stance reflects the broader political divide in New York. This game is shaping up to be more than just a basketball event. It's a cultural moment. But let's shift gears to our next story, which is a bit heavier. Ahmed al-Ahmed, the hero of the Bondi Beach shooting, is now facing charges over an alleged domestic incident. What do you make of this?
It's such a complicated and honestly heartbreaking story. Al-Ahmed was hailed as a hero for disarming a shooter during the Bondi Beach attack. He saved countless lives and nearly lost his own in the process. But now these allegations paint a very different picture of him.
It's a stark contrast, isn't it? On one hand, you have this man who performed an act of incredible bravery. On the other hand, he's now facing charges of domestic violence, common assault, stalking, and intimidation. It's a reminder that people are complex, and heroism in one moment doesn't necessarily define someone's entire character.
That's so true. And while Al-Ahmed has denied the allegations, calling them fake information, the charges are serious. It's a tough situation because his actions during the Bondi Beach attack were undeniably heroic, but these allegations, if proven true, would complicate his legacy.
Absolutely. And it also raises questions about how we view public figures who've performed heroic acts. Do we hold them to a higher standard? Or do we acknowledge that they're human, with flaws and failings like anyone else?
It's a difficult balance. I think it's natural to put heroes on a pedestal, but it's also important to remember that they're not infallible. If these allegations are proven true, it doesn't erase what he did at Bondi Beach, but it does add a layer of complexity to how we remember him.
And we don't have all the details yet. The article mentions that the report didn't provide further information about court dates or how authorities plan to proceed, so there's still a lot we don't know.
Exactly. It's a story that's still unfolding, and it'll be interesting to see how it develops. But now, let's move on to our third story, which shifts the focus to international politics. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu made some strong statements about Iran, saying its government won't last forever and urging support for regime change. What stood out to you?
Netanyahu's comments are bold, to say the least. He's essentially calling for the downfall of the Iranian regime and suggesting that Israel and the U.S. should actively support efforts to make that happen. It's a high-stakes position, especially given the ongoing tensions in the region.
And it's not just rhetoric. The article mentions recent incidents like drone attacks in the Persian Gulf and defensive strikes by U.S. forces. It's clear that the situation is already volatile, and Netanyahu's statements could escalate things further.
Definitely. He even warned Tehran against playing with fire and hinted at the possibility of additional military strikes. It's a stark reminder of how precarious the situation is. And then there's the dynamic between Netanyahu and Trump. The article notes some tactical differences between them, but it also emphasizes their strong working relationship.
That's an interesting dynamic. On one hand, they seem to be aligned in their overall goals, but on the other, there are nuances in how they approach the situation. For instance, Trump mentioned the possibility of a naval blockade on Iran, which adds another layer of complexity.
And let's not forget the human element here. Netanyahu talks about helping the Iranian people bring down the regime, but regime change is never a simple process. It often comes with significant risks and unintended consequences.
Exactly. And while Netanyahu and Trump may see this as a path to a more stable Middle East, there's no guarantee that a new government in Iran would align with their interests. It's a gamble, and the stakes couldn't be higher.
So true. And it's fascinating how these three stories, while seemingly unrelated, all touch on themes of leadership, conflict, and public perception. Whether it's Trump at a basketball game, Al-Ahmed's legal troubles, or Netanyahu's stance on Iran, they all highlight the complexities of the human experience.
Absolutely. It's a lot to think about, and I'm sure we'll be hearing more about these stories in the days and weeks to come.
No doubt. All right, that's all we've got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care.